Hello friends, how are you? So I hope you all are doing great and enjoying the lectures. Yes, sir. Okay. So we in the last lecture we started with chapter number 3, that is labor costing, and we discussed about the basics, right? That what is labor cost and what all is included in the labor cost. We discussed about the determination of labor cost, then total labor hours, and we discussed about effective labor hours and the idle time. So all this we have discussed in the last lecture, and I hope you people have gone, all those who are having the handbooks, my handbooks, they have gone through with the handbooks, they have revised these topics, the first 2 pages of the chapter, right? The first 2 3 pages, in that we have covered all this: normal idle time, what is abnormal idle time, what can be the reasons for it, and how to treat it. Okay. So, effective labor cost, I told you how to calculate total labor cost divided by effective labor hours. That means for the number of hours that were effectively being used for production, right? So, now in this lecture, what is our planning is to do some practical problems, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's see, these files you can get it from our mobile app KSJ Teaching, and the link is in the video description. You can download it from there. Okay, sir, let's start with labor costing. Question number 1. X, an employee of ABC company, gets the following emoluments and benefits. Basic pay is 1000 per month, right? And then we have the DNS allowances there. Then bonus 20% of salary and DA. That means 20% of salary plus DA. Now you need to be very careful while reading the question what it is given, right? On which value you have to calculate the things, right? It is given bonus 20% of salary and DA. That means the bonus is to be calculated on this combined value. Okay. Other allowances 250 per month. Employer's contribution to PF is 10% of salary and DA. Then he says X works for 2400 hours per annum, out of which 400 hours are non-productive and treated as normal idle time, right? You are required to find out the effective hourly cost of employee X. So he says the X works for 2400 hours per annum, out of which 400 are non-productive and abnormal idle time. That means if he is working for 2400 hours, means he is staying inside the factory premises for 2400 hours. But out of that 2400 hours, the actual productive time is 2000 hours. The rest of the 400 hours are non-productive, and these are normal idle time. That means the time which he is spending in having some food, tea, coffee, going to the washroom, and all those things. Okay. So in such questions, what you have to do is first calculate the effective hours. First calculate the effective hours, and then we will calculate the total cost. See, we need only two things. One, the total labor cost, and second is the effective hours. Okay. Okay, we can calculate the total labor cost also. That is no issue. Okay. So we have question number 1. First we'll say calculation of total labor cost. Calculation of total labor cost. Okay. Basic pay. What is basic pay, sir? Basic pay is 1000 rupees per month. So that means 1000 multiplied by 12. So total is 12,000. Then you have DA. DA is given as 200 per month. 200 multiplied by 12. That is 2400. Okay. Then he says bonus 20% of salary and DA. So when you are calculating the bonus means 20% of 12,000 plus 2400, right? So you have to calculate 20% of this value. 14,400. This comes to 2880, right? Then other allowances 250 per month. Other allowances, it is 250 per month. 250 multiplied by 12. So this comes to 3000, right? Then we have employer's contribution. Employer's contribution to PF. How much? Employer's contribution to PF is 10% of salary and DA. Again, he says 10% of salary plus DA. So that means 10% of 14,400. Okay, this comes to 1440. So my total labor cost is, so I'll say total labor cost. So total labor cost is how much? 21,720. Clear? So this is my total labor cost. Now the second thing that I need is the effective working hours, calculation of effective hours. So second thing that we are going to calculate is calculation of effective working hours. Calculation of effective working hours, right? So very simple, sir. Total hours, how much? Total hours is equal to 2400. We'll subtract what? We'll subtract a normal idle time, right? And it is given as how many hours? Normal idle time is 400 hours. So that means the effective hours is 2000. So these are the effective hours. Now, the question says you have to calculate the effective hourly cost of employee X, right? So that means effective hourly cost is equal to total labor cost, that is 21,720 divided by effective hours, that is 2000. So this comes to rupees 10.86. So this is what the requirement was. Clear? So basically in such questions what you need is two things. One is the total labor cost and second one is the calculation of total effective working hours. So this is very important, that how you take the idle time, right? How you treat abnormal idle time. In case of abnormal idle time, how we have to treat it, right? So all these things are very important. Clear? So we are done with question number 1. Let's move on to question number 2. From the following particulars, calculate labor cost per man day of 8 hours, right? So that means the question says you have to calculate the labor cost for 1 day and there are 8 hours in 1 day. Okay, sir. Basic salary rupees 2 per day. Very good, sir. DNS allowance 25 paisa for every point over 100 cost of living index. For working class, current cost of living index is 700 points, right? So he says 25 paisa for every point over 100 cost of living index, right? Above 100, whatever is the cost of living index, right? If it is 700, that means he says above 100. Above 100 means 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Total 600. For every 100, you have to calculate 0.25 paisa. Clear? Leave salaries 10% of A and B. Employer's contribution to Provident Fund is 8% of A, B and C. So you need to be very careful that on which values you have to do the calculation. Employer's contribution to state insurance 2.5% of A, B and C. Expenditure on amenities to labor rupees 20 per head per month. Okay, number of working days in a month is 25 days of 8 hours each. So we are given the number of working days in a month, 25 days, and he says you have to calculate the per man day cost. That means first we can calculate the cost for 25 days, and whatever is the cost for 25 days, if I divide by 25 days, I will get the cost for 1 day, right? So what I will do is I will first calculate the total cost for 25 days. Okay, let's do it, sir. Question number 2. So first we'll calculate the cost for 25 days, right? In that what we are having is, first is basic salary. basic salary is 25 days multiplied by 2 rupees per day, right? So 50 rupees. Then we have DA. DA is 0.25 multiplied by 600. Sir, how it is 600? He says for every point over 100 cost of living, right? Above 100, whatever is the point is, right? Above 100, whatever is the cost of living index, above 100 up till 700, we have 600 points, right? Up till 100, no DNS allowance. Above 100, for every point you are paying 0.25 paisa, right? So the current cost of living index is 700. So above 100 means we have 600 points, right? And 25 paisa for every point. So this comes to 150. Clear? Total is 200. Then the third thing, leave salary 10% of A and B, right? So we'll have leave salary. Leave salary is 10% of 200, right? That is 20. So this is 220. Next, employer's contribution to provident fund 8% of A, B and C. Employer's contribution. Employer's contribution to PF. To PF is 8%. 8% of what? 8% of 220. That comes to 17.6. And to ESI. To ESI, it is given as 2.5%. 2.5% of A, B and C. That means 2.5% of 220. That comes to 5.5. Clear? So we are done with this and this. Now the expenditure on amenities to labor rupees 20 per head per month. Okay, sir. Expenditure on. So we have expenditure on amenities. Right? How much? 20. Fine, sir. Then any other thing, sir? Anything else? Any other thing to be included in the cost? No, sir. Nothing to be included in the cost. So what I get here is total monthly wages. Total monthly wages. How much? This is 263.1. Now, number of working days. Number of working days is 25, right? Number of working days is 25. So I can calculate the labor cost per man day. Labor cost per man day. This is what the requirement is. Per man day is 263.1 divided by 25 because we have to calculate it for 1 day. Clear? So this is question number 2. First we calculated the total cost, right? Total cost for 1 month. 1 month means 25 days. So no role of basically 8 hours here. Why, sir? Because the requirement was for the man day, right? So there is practically no role of 8 hours in this question. Clear? Simple question, sir. Very simple, sir. Any issues? Any doubt up till this point? I hope you are clear with this. Right? Let's move on to question number 3. A worker is paid rupees 100 per month and DNS allowance of 200 per month. This 100 per month is the basic pay basically. Right? This is your basic pay. Okay. And DNS allowance of rupees 200 per month. There is a provident fund at the rate 8.1/3%. 8.1/3%, right? And the employer also contributes the same amount as the employee. The employee's state insurance corporation premium is 12% of wages, of which 2% is paid by the employee and 10% is being paid by the employer, right? It is the firm's practice to pay 2 months as the bonus each year. The number of working days in a year are 300 of 8 hours each. Out of these, the workers are entitled to 15 days leave on full pay. Right? So for these 15 days, will there be any production? No, sir. The worker will be sitting at home. Right? He is entitled to leave. He will, when he is getting the full pay for this leave, why will not worker avail this? Definitely, sir, will avail this. Right? Will sit at home, enjoy. Calculate the wage rate per hour for costing purposes. Wage rate per hour. Always read the requirement very carefully. What the question is asking for. Right? The question says wage rate per hour. That means you need two things. One thing you need is the total wages that are being paid. The second thing is the total number of hours, effective hours. So if we divide the total wages by total effective hours, we'll get the wage rate per hour. So always read the requirement. Clear? So first again we'll calculate the total wages. Right, sir. We'll calculate total wages first. Let's start with question number 3. So calculation of total wages. Okay, calculation of total wages. So he says the first and the foremost thing is the basic pay. What is basic pay? Basic pay is rupees 100 per month. Basic pay is rupees 100 per month. So 100 multiplied by 12, that is 1200. Right, sir. Plus, we'll calculate for the DA. What is DA, sir? 200 per month. 200 multiplied by 12, that is 2400. And the total for this is 3600. Sir, why I put a total here? Because a lot of things will be calculated on basic pay plus DA. Right. So it is always beneficial to do the calculation, to take the total here. Okay. Next. He says a provident fund of 8.1/3% and employer contributes the same amount. See, the provident fund in most of the cases is calculated on basic pay plus DA. Okay, even if it is not given in the question, you will calculate on the total provident fund. Right? It will be calculated 8/8, 1/3% of how much? 3600. That is the total basic plus DA. So this comes to 300. Okay. Then the ESI. What is the ESI contribution by the employer? Now I told you in the last lecture that we do not have to consider the employee's contribution. Employee's contribution is after the employee has left the office and he is contributing later on, and the employer has nothing to do with that. Right? So out of the total 12%, what is the employer's contribution? Is only 10%. Clear? So to ESI, employer's contribution to ESI is 10% of 3600. This is 360. Clear up till this point? Any doubts? Now he says, and it is the firm's practice to pay 2 months as the bonus each year. Now, if the 3600 is the total salary for 12 months, what is the bonus? We'll calculate for 2 months. Now, again, sir, I am telling you, it has to be calculated on basic pay plus DA. DA is always combined with the basic pay, right? If the question specifically says that you have to calculate only on the basic pay, then calculate on basic pay. If the question is silent, then you can calculate on basic pay plus DA, right? So bonus is 3600 multiplied by 2/12. So this comes to 600. Anything else, sir? Anything else to be paid? No, sir. Bonus is taken after that the number of days. So these are the total wages now. What I'll get is total wages. Right? So gross total wages is 4860. Now we will calculate the effective hours. Calculation of effective hours. Calculation of effective hours. Sir, what are the total hours available? What are the total hours available? That is 300 days multiplied by 8. 300 days multiplied by 8, that means the total available hours are 2400, right? Minus leave. Now this is normal, sir. 15 days multiplied by 8. Now, sir, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? This comes to 120. So the effective, sir, because for these 15 days, there will be no production by the employee. This employee will sit at home, right? And what we have to calculate is effective hours. That means the effective hours means the number of hours that has been spent in the production. So what we are getting is effective hours. Effective hours. So in this case, the effective hours will be 2280. So my effective wage rate per hour will be effective wage rate per hour. Effective wage rate per hour is equal to total wages, that is 4860 divided by 2280. This comes to rupees 2.13, right? Clear? So this is question number 3. Very simple questions, right? What is important is your concept should be clear. That's why I always say that the concept clarity is very, very, very important in every subject, not only cost accounting, in every subject. And I always focus on concept clarity. Whether it is cost accounting, if you listen to the cost accounting lectures that are already uploaded on YouTube, the Hindi lectures, the financial management lectures, the economics or finance lecture, my always the first focus is on the concept clarity, that everything should be crystal clear to you people. The concepts are of the utmost importance, right? Okay, sir, we are done with the question number 3 now, and moving on to the next one now, question number 4. Let's see. Following data have been extracted from the books of Messrs. ABC Private Limited. ABC Private Limited, okay, salary, each employee per month, 30,000 rupees. Right, sir? It is per month salary. Then bonus is 25% of salary. Then employer's contribution to PF ESI is 15% of salary. Now he has specifically stated 15% of salary. That means of this. Right, sir? Total cost at employees' welfare activities is 6,61,500 per annum on total cost. Total leave permitted during the year is 30 days. Number of employees is 175. Normal idle time 70 hours per annum. Abnormal idle time due to failure of power supply. Right, that is 50 hours. Working days per annum is 310 days of 8 hours each. You are required to calculate the annual cost of each employee, right? So you have to calculate the annual cost for one employee. Each employee means you have to calculate it for one employee. Right, employee cost per hour and the cost of abnormal idle time per employee. Very good question, sir. Very interesting question, isn't it? So first we'll calculate the total labor cost of one employee. Calculation of total labor cost for one employee. Okay, let's do it. Question number 4. Calculation of total labor cost per employee. Calculation of total labor cost per employee, right? The first thing, salary is given each employee per month 30,000 rupees. So we'll calculate it for the year. Salary is 30,000 for one employee multiplied by 12. So this comes to 3,60,000. So next, bonus is 25% of salary. Very good, sir. Bonus is 25% of what? 3,60,000. So this comes to 90,000. We'll calculate it once, sir. 3,60,000 multiplied by 25%. Yes, sir. 90,000. Correct. Then, employer's contribution to PF ESI, 15% of salary. Employer's contribution to PF and salary. Sorry, PF and ESI. PF and ESI is 15% of 3,60,000. So this comes to 54,000. Right, sir. Next is total cost at employees welfare activities. Now you need to be very careful. 6,61,500. What you need to be careful here is that is it the cost for one employee or is it the cost for total employees? This 6,61,500 is the cost for just one employee, or this 6,61,500 is the cost for total number of employees? Just answer this. Sir, it is the cost for the total employees. What it is written? Total cost at employees welfare activities. That means this cost is for 175 employees. What you are calculating is the cost for one employee, right? So this is one area, this is one point where you can actually make a mistake. You can actually make a mistake, sir, right? So here I'll take employees welfare activities. Employees welfare activities. How to calculate it? 6,61,500 divided by 175, because we need the cost for one employee, sir, right? This comes to 3,780. Okay. Anything else, sir? No, sir. Then the leave is there, number of employees, normal idle time, and all those things. So any other cost? No, sir. So this becomes my total labor cost. Total labor cost, right? This comes to 5,07,780. Any doubts up till this point? Right? So in this question, the important point is this one. The employees welfare activities, because what you can do is you can take this 6,61,500 per annum given, take it. Because we have the habit of not reading the question carefully in examination. That is the problem with us. That's why I always say, read the question very carefully in the examination, right? This cost is for 175 employees and we are calculating for just one employee. So this is the total labor cost. Now we have to calculate the effective hours. Now we have to calculate calculation of effective hours. Calculation of effective hours. Right, sir. What are the total hours available? Total hours available is 310 days multiplied by 8 hours, right? That comes to 2480 hours, right? Now out of this, total leave permitted during the year is 30 days. So for the 30 days, the employee can take a leave. This will be paid leave, sir, right? For 30 days, he can sit at home and enjoy. So I'll subtract this leave, assuming that the employee is taking that leave. So during these 30 days, he will not be working. So I'll subtract it. This is 240 hours. Clear? So available working hours. So this is available working hours is how much? 2240 hours, right? Now out of this, we have the normal idle time of 70 hours less normal idle time. How much? 70 hours, right? So what are the effective hours, sir? Effective working hours. Sir, will not subtract the abnormal idle time, because any abnormal idle time cost will directly go where? It will directly be taken to costing profit and loss account. Those hours will not be subtracted from effective hours, right? Effective effective hours. Effective hours is how much? 2170 hours. Now, what is the requirement? The question says the annual cost of each employee we have done. Says employee cost per hour, right? So, what you have to write is employee cost per hour. Employee cost per hour. That is total cost. Total cost is 5,07,780. 5,07,780 divided by effective hours, that is 2170. This comes to rupees 234. Right, we'll just calculate once. 780 divided by 2170. Yes, 234. That is the employee cost per labor hour. Okay. Now the third part says you have to calculate the cost of abnormal idle time per employee. What is the abnormal idle time? 50 hours. Sir, what is the cost that we have to bear for that 50 hours? What is the cost that we have to bear for those 50 hours? Cost of abnormal time. Cost of abnormal time. What are the hours? 50 hours, right? Sir, what is the cost? What is the employee cost per hour? Sir, we'll be incurring 234 per hour, isn't it? We'll be incurring 234 rupees per hour. So for 50 hours, the cost will be rupees 11,700. This cost will go where? Sir, this cost will directly be taken to costing profit and loss account. Costing profit and loss account. Sir, it will directly impact my profits because this amount I cannot recover from my customer. It was not the mistake of customer that there was a power failure, right? So this cost will directly impact my profits. Clear? So for 50 hours, I have to incur 234 rupees per hour. That means a total of 11,700 rupees is my loss due to power failure. Clear? So this is how you have to treat the abnormal time. So I have done the treatment of normal time. I have taken the treatment of abnormal time, calculation of total hours, how you have to calculate, right? The most important thing is you have to be very careful while reading the question. So we are done with question number 4 also, and with this we are done with this topic. Right, we are done with the first topic, and in the next lecture we'll be starting with the next topic, that is overtime. Very interesting and very, 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 very important topic, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.